What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Coppo, and I'm here for the news. And in New Mexico, there's been another mass shooting. Now, they haven't released a picture of the suspect yet, or his name. But one thing has become apparently obvious, and I've said this time and time again, that some of these mass shootings, not all, are allegedly orchestrated. Now, this young man was dressed in all black. For people who visit the channel often and frequently, they will know that I talk about color schemes a lot. A lot of these things are ritualistic in nature. There's a lot of witchcraft involved. And people was like, yeah, you crazy. I don't believe that, such and such. And then there was a case with this Jesse McFadden here recently in Oklahoma that happened, I think maybe 2 weeks ago. And Jesse McFadden, inside of his house, they took TV cameras in there. And lo and behold, what did they find on the shelf? Books on witchcraft and devil worship. Now, a lot of people say, no, they don't want to believe that because that's too scary. But there's a huge agenda going on right now with gun control. And we're getting to see open, ritualistic sacrifices going on. That's the duality of it. Gun control plus ritualistic sacrifices that look like happenstance mass shootings. And that's not the case at all, in my personal opinion. Now, I've been covering these cases. I might have to change my channel for Sports, Life, and Politics TV to Mass Shooting Central. But if you look, Jesse McFadden, Salvador Ramos, the mass shooter who out of Uvalde, Peyton Gitron, the Buffalo mass shooting. It's been the 1 year anniversary of that shooting. The Tulsa mass shooting at the hospital, the black man, eyes bugged out of his head. Gonzalo Lopez, one escaped off the bus and ended up ultimately killing 4 more people after escaping off a prison bus. How he got out, the world may never know. Robert Crimo, he did a mass shooting in the suburbs of Chicago off a rooftop. Come to find out, yes, he was a Luciferian. The Walmart mass shooter, I forgot this guy's name, but it looked like a biracial or Latino black guy. You had Mauricio Gonzalez. This is the Allen, Texas mass shooter here recently. You had Carlos Dominguez, UC Davis. Look, Deion Patterson. This was the Atlanta mass shooter. This is Francisco Arpeza. This happened in Cleveland, Texas. You had the 3 teens who were Luciferians and devil worshippers throwing rocks off a freeway who took a blood oath with one another. You had the mass shooting out of Louisville, Kentucky. Mass shooter Connor Sturgeon. He went into the bank. He said that he was tired of his co-workers and went in there and started gunning people down. Aubrey Hale, all hail Satan. She had the Thrasher sticker on the back of her car, and she was dressed in red, white, and black. You had this mass shooter at Michigan State, Anthony McRae. You had the mass shooting, and I keep telling people some of this stuff is ritualistic in nature. Listen to me. They had Lunar New Year's Massacre. Anybody know what lunar means? It means moon. The mass shooting took place in Half Moon Bay on a Monday, which is the moon day. Ritualistic sacrifices in nature. Once again, you had Brian Koberger, the Idaho State killer. Look, I could go on and on, so many more, but we have one in New Mexico, and we're going to go over the clip. Let's take a look and see what's going on with this guy.
This was the scene in Farmington, New Mexico. A man went on a violent neighborhood rampage, shooting 10 people, including 2 police officers. 3 of the victims died. Police then shot and killed him. Eyewitness News.
And he's dressed in all black, and he's waiting to die. Look how he's just walking back and forth. He's not hiding. He's not taking cover. He done his mission, and now he's ready to check out. That's why I say I did a video a long time ago on my channel on MK Ultra Mind Control. And it wasn't a video espousing my opinion and giving you what I think. I just read from the congressional hearing that they had in the 80s on MK Ultra Mind Control and some of the things and some of the tactics that they were using and some of the people who were part of the program, like Charles Manson, Jim Jones, some of these people who you think when things were just happening. And Jim Jones was part of a mass suicide. So he did one of the biggest mass killings. This is not new. This is why you watch Sports Life and Politics TV, because I'm going to give you some in-depth shit. I'm going to ask some questions that ain't nobody else asking. The young man's dressed in all black. He's walking and pacing, and he's ready to die. Let's take a small look again. Small gander.
New Mexico, a man went on a violent neighborhood rampage, shooting 10 people, including 2 police officers. 3 of the victims died. Police then shot and killed him. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pulliam has more.
Chilling video taken during the latest act of gun violence, ripping yet another community in America. The suspect seen in this video appearing to be holding a gun, pacing outside of a church in Farmington, New Mexico, 15 miles south of the Colorado border. Officers.
And I always ask these same questions. When they finally do release this young man's picture, and they release his name, his social media at this point is being scrubbed clean. You won't be able to find none of the stuff he was into, none of the pictures he was posting, none of that. You might get a clip here or there, but they scrubbed that shit immediately because they don't want you to know that a lot of these young men are into witchcraft, Wiccan, devil worship, and all type of other chicanery. They don't want you to know that, because then you can put 2 and 2 together. And you can start saying, what do all these young men have in common? When Peyton Gitron, the Buffalo mass shooter, when he did his mass shooting, they had the news clip. In the video that I just showed you the thumbnail of, all of them was my videos. The video I just showed you, the man basically got on the news and said that the FBI was in his chat. That's why I say any major organization in the United States that could possibly be a threat to the United States of America, the feds have already infiltrated that. That's just a fact. So when these young men are out here doing these crimes, there's no doubt about it that the government, a lot of times, allegedly, in my opinion, already know who a lot of these young men are. And there are people who are pushing these people in these directions. When you have young men who are mentally vulnerable, might have psychological issues, it's not that hard to manipulate these people. That's why the internet is always scrubbed on every single one of these mass shooters and mass killers.
Responded to the area to find a chaotic scene where a male subject was actively firing upon individuals.
Police say the 18-year-old gunman shot and killed several people, 2 officers, 1 a state trooper wounded during the attack. Schools and businesses in the area go into lockdown as law enforcement searched for the suspect.
I'm in my garage and I hear this rap, 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 rap.
4 officers on scene confronting and killing the gunman, according to police. New Mexico's governor releasing a statement thanking law enforcement's takedown of the shooter, but also sharing outrage, writing, "I am deeply upset by the tragic violence that unfolded today in Farmington," adding, "My administration will not stop fighting the epidemic of gun violence from every angle possible." Police have not yet said the motive for this shooting.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more.
And I'm telling you, I done said this in other videos. I will be doing an update video on this once they release his picture and his name. But every single video, I tell you, they're going to break the American public's will with the sure mass amount of numbers of mass shootings that's happening. Eventually, people will break. Even these gun states. That's why I tell people, especially Negroes, go get your rifles. And even people who ain't, if you want to get your rifles, the time is now, because the laws will be changing sooner rather than later. Get on top of your game. Stay focused. Some of this stuff allegedly is orchestrated. There's no doubt about that in my mind, body, and soul. There's no way this many people are waking up on a Monday and want to shoot people out of their own volition. There's just no way, because America has been full of guns for a long time. We've had a lot of crazy people for a long time in this country. Mental health has been a problem in this country for a long time, but the thing about it is, with the influence of social media and the people that you can congregate with and the people that you can also talk to and exchange ideas, and sometimes, a lot of times, I think a lot of these people are manipulated, kind of like suicide bombers. You have to be brainwashed to do this shit. So you have to ask yourself the question, is all of this by accident or by happenstance? Or are you starting to come around and realize, hey man, Sports Life and Politics TV might be on to something. Something ain't right and something's rotten in Denmark. But I'm Samuel Koppel. This has been Sports Life and Politics TV. I'm here for the news, YouTube's #1 couch detective. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I just took your ass. There's been another mass shooting in New Mexico. Ride. Peace.